Okay, so let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of irrigation. First, even during the low period or low rainfall period, the yield of crop can be increased by proper irrigation system. Okay. Second, the food production of a country can be improved by providing water throughout the year. Third, cultivation of superior crops can be done. Like superior crops means cotton, fruits, tobaccos. Okay, they can be done with proper if water is supplied properly. Fourth advantage is it is water can be utilized. The stored water can be utilized for industrial and domestic supply. Okay. Fifth point is if the if if the cash crops or superior crops are grown, then it leads to the economic development of the country. Also, the constructions of different hydraulic structures leads to employment to the certain part of a certain population of the country. Okay. Sixth important point: due to the construction of dams, it helps us to supply hydroelectric power. Okay. And due to the cultivation of cash crops, the value of the land is also increased. And after that, there are other more advantages, like that leads to development of fisheries. Okay. Navigation, it helps in navigation and so on. But I think this will be enough for you to study. But apart from many advantages, there are also disadvantages of irrigation. If the irrigation arrangement is not properly supervised or not properly arranged, then it can, or too much of excess of irrigation can also lead to breeding places for mosquitoes. Okay, too much of irrigation can increase the water table of the land. That leads to the waterlogged area, and the colder places becomes more colder and damper, and it also excess of irrigation or leakage of water from the irrigation canal can also lead to marshy land. Okay, so these are few disadvantages of irrigation if the irrigation arrangement system is not properly maintained and supervised. Now let's talk about the method of distribution of water. There are basically three methods for distributing water. We have surface irrigation, subsurface irrigation, and sprinkler irrigation. Okay, first let's talk about subsurface irrigation. Now in this method, in our subsurface method, irrigation water is distributed to the agricultural land on the surface. Okay, you can see over here in the diagram, in the picture that I have provided, this is a furrow irrigation system where you can see small channels are made on the surface and the water is supplied on the agricultural land. Okay, this is surface irrigation. Again, a surface irrigation is divided into three categories: furrow irrigation, flooding, and contour farming. Okay, this picture is a picture is a furrow irrigation, where the irrigation water is supplied to the land by digging narrow channels. Okay, this method, now the type of irrigation, surface irrigation, is dependent on the type of crop grown or the type of land that is available. Okay, so this furrow method is suitable for the crop which are grown or sown in rows, and the crops that are grown are potatoes, groundnut, tobacco, sugarcane, etc. Now second step that falls under a surface irrigation is flooding. This method is, as I have already mentioned, this has also been categorized based on the type of land that is available. So flooding method is suitable for the agricultural land which exists in flat topography. In this case, what is done is the water is flooded in the agricultural land with the help of channel. Okay, again flooding is divided into two parts: uncontrolled flooding and controlled flooding. Okay, this I have given in notes. Okay, and the third surface irrigation method is contour farming. This type of method is adopted in hilly areas where the land has steep slopes. The land is divided into series of horizontal strips. Okay, and this method also actually serves as the purpose of flood control and soil irrigation. So soil erosion, sorry. The second method that involves is subsurface irrigation. Now over here you can see the water is supplied on the agricultural land, not on the surface but underneath the surface. Okay, in these cases water is supplied directly at the root zone of the crops, where the plant takes water through the capillary actions. Again, subsurface irrigation is divided into two parts. I have not mentioned in the notes, but you can take notes on this, okay, to improve your answer. Subsurface irrigation is divided into two parts. One is a natural subsurface and another is artificial subsurface. Now, natural subsurface involves when water table lies below the root zone of the plant, then the water is naturally absorbed by the plants. Whereas in case of artificial subsurface, this picture shows an example of artificial subsurface irrigation, where when network of pipes are provided underneath the soil at the root zone for supplying water to the crops. Okay, and our last type of method that involves the distribution of water is a sprinkler irrigation. I hope this diagram is this picture gives you a basic idea on what exactly is sprinkler irrigation, right? In this method, the water is applied to the land in the form of spray like rain. The spraying of water is done through network of pipes, which involves main pipe, sub main pipes and lateral pipes. Okay. Okay, again there are two types of method that is involved in sprinkler irrigation. One is a perforated pipes and another is a rotating sprinklers. Okay, in case of perforated pipes, the pipes that are provided over here, there is a nozzle that is provided on the top of the pipe, which has small holes through which the water comes out in a form of spray. And next is your rotating sprinklers. In this, there are rotating knobs provided, which rotates at 180-degree, and the water comes out from that knobs in form of sprinkler, and the water is applied on the agricultural field. Okay, so these are the different method that is involved for distribution of water. Now if we talk about the irrigation system, this is not in a syllabus. I mean, you will be learning this in detail in later chapters, but still let me give you basic idea about the type of irrigation that are involved. Okay, there are two types. One is a flow irrigation and another is a lift irrigation. So flow irrigation is when the source of water from where the water has to be brought to the agricultural field. Okay, the source is available at the higher level and the water requirement of water is at the lower level. So in such cases there are no structures involved, because the water will be brought down to the canal through gravity on its own. Okay, whereas in case of our lift, again our flow irrigation is divided into two parts: perennial irrigation and inundation irrigation. Perennial irrigation means if the source of water has water throughout the year, then it is known as perennial irrigation. Whereas in case of inundation irrigation, Only the flood water is utilized for the excess flood during the rainy season. When flood occurs, then the excess water is utilized for irrigation. But in this case, the water is used for limited time. Here the land is completely submerged with water, and also the excess water is stored in some storage reservoir. Okay, and next type of irrigation system is our lift irrigation. When the source of water is located at the lower level than the water where it is required, then in these cases lift irrigation is utilized. Okay, this is the opposite of flow irrigation. Okay, in this case some artificial mechanism is necessary for supplying water, and the means of providing or transporting water, they can be done by two types. One is by man or animal power, and by second is by mechanical or electrical power. Okay, a typical example of lift irrigation is wells, tube wells. Okay, now our last topic that is involved under irrigation introduction is our irrigation projects. Our entire irrigation system, irrigation projects are based on two categories. One is an administrative wise irrigation project that is divided into subdivided into three parts. One is our major projects. Now the entire culturable command area, if the total area is greater than 10,000 hectares, means the irrigation project in a certain area is occupying space more than 10,000 hectares, then that is considered as major project. Okay, and it is normally this project costs more than 5 to 10 crores. Okay, second type of project is medium project. When the culturable command area or the irrigation project occupies land more than 2000 hectares. Now hectares means 1 hectare is 10,000 square meter. Okay, you have to remember that. Now when the area occupies land more than 2000 hectares but less than 10,000 hectares, then that will be considered as a medium project. And last is a minor project. When the irrigation project occupies land less than 2000 hectares, then they will be considered as the minor projects. Okay, and next irrigation project is purpose wise irrigation projects. It is divided into two parts: single purpose irrigation project and multi-purpose irrigation project. Now if let's say some irrigation project is established in some area, and if that irrigation project only serves one purpose, like let's say it is only supplying water to the canal, or it is only supplying hydroelectric power. I mean to say is, if it is giving us only one advantage, then that will be considered as a single purpose irrigation project. Whereas in case of our multi-purpose project, it not only supplies us with water, but it also provides other benefits such as hydropower. It controls flood, it helps in navigation, and it also gives us domestic and industrial water supply. This will be considered as your multi-purpose irrigation project. So this is the last topic for today. Okay, I hope if it's clear to everyone. Have a good day.